Right, what have we got here? Okay, this time we have the Elements by Celestron, that's the manufacturer, and it's the Firecel Plus. Now, a little bit of a departure from what I normally review, but I thought I'd give this a shot because it looks quite interesting. Right, so let's just explain what this is. It is a flashlight, however, it's also a power bank, and within that, it's also a hand warmer. So you can have up to 12 hours of heat there. It's got a USB out for your charging on the bottom there. It's also got the flashlight there, and it's got a pretty big capacity. I normally carry around a 1200 milliamp hours, a really big power bank, but this is a smaller one, but for the size it's pretty reasonable. So it's a 5200 milliamp hours battery, so that's enough to give you a couple of charges on most modern phones anyway. So 3-in-1, so quite interesting. We'll go through some of the specs here. It's one of these C-Link type, so you can link it together with other non-hand warming power banks in the same range, and you can get longer power. But 2 hand warmer modes. There's mode 1, which is 6 hours, which uses both sides of it. It has 2 heat plates, and you have a 12 hours one, so it goes up to 114 Fahrenheit. Not bad. So let's get in here now. I don't need to start ripping this to bits with knives, I don't think. So let's see what we're getting here. Right. Now it's pretty small. I mean, I've got quite large hands, but that's quite small. That's pretty good. So I presume this metal element must be the heating pad. And there's the features there. So it warms your hand, power bank and flashlight. So there's the power bank. So this will be a standard USB connector for charging, and that's your input, which allows you to put the juice back into this. Now I think there's a normal Firecel. This is the Firecel Plus, which is bigger. You get a better battery. Now it has 4 LEDs, but it's multiple coloured, so let's go through some of the features. So it should be charged. We'll do that in a moment. So let's put this to one side. So what else do you get in the pack here? Okay, you get, oh, that's quite nice. It's almost like a microfiber carry bag, so that's quite interesting, and it seems to have a drawstring. Yeah, with a drawstring. Feels quite good, quite decent quality. That'll fit in no problem, so we'll pop that over to one side. What else do you get in here? You get, so your standard lanyard looks pretty cheap, but it'll do the job. That doesn't feel like it's going to break. Yeah, that's pretty good. So where's the lanyard hole? There you go. So that'll go through there and then loop back on itself, just like a loop knot. So that's fine. I suppose you could hang that from something if you're using it as a lantern or in a camping situation. So there's your lanyard, and I presume this must be, yeah, so your standard USB, and then you have a small USB input, and that'll go in there. So that'll be for charging, and then for discharging you just put whatever you want in there. So I'm going to try that out actually, because I've got that Claris from the small Claris flashlight that I was looking at. So let's see if it charges this. So we'll pop that in there, and then we'll put the other end. So let's see if that's going to charge up. So put the other end, I presume, in here, and then turn it on. So let's get this turned on. Yep, that's charging. You see the red light? So it seems to be doing the job. So yeah, it's outputting a charge. That's absolutely fantastic. So unplug that. Fantastic. Right, so let's go through some of these modes. So we've seen charging appears to work there. I'm going to quickly memorize this using my X-Men powers of memorization. Okay, 5200, yep, that all makes sense. Hand warmer, temperatures, blah de blah. Oh yes, wonderful. Right, let's get on with it. Let's keep this simple. Okay, so main buttons, you have a one on the left and the one on the right. Now, can I just say, Celestron, please, in fact, most manufacturers, if you're going to put a button on something that's probably going to be in someone's pocket, why don't you recess the button? What's the point of having a non-recessed button that can accidentally be knocked? Watch. Oh, I've accidentally knocked it. Oh, well, it's on. I hate that. If you're going to do that, either recess it or have an electronic lockout or some lockout switch, because you're just going to waste battery through no fault of your own. Now, I'm not asking too much. Recess the button, please, okay? But let's go through the modes. So mode 1 is red light. Now, the whole point of red light is it's a low intensity red light, which is supposed to allow you to look at things close up and not ruin night vision. In other words, it doesn't have an intensity enough to get to the back of your eye and ruin your ability to see in low light conditions. Because what generally happens is if you flash a light in your face, or anyone else's face for that matter, when you're out and about, it takes, from my experience, it takes about at least 20 minutes to get back full night vision. That's just from my own experience. Now that seems, that seems too powerful to me, but I will go out and test that. That just seems too powerful. That seems to be enough to ruin night vision. But I'm going to go out later on and sit in the cold with this. I'll find somewhere and I'll see if it heats my hands, and I'll see if it ruins night vision or not. So I'll comment on that later once I've done that. So that's mode 1, is double LED red. Mode 2 is white LEDs. Now, I've discussed this before with models like the Tube here. Great little thing, fantastic for just looking around the house, but the problem is you're getting light leak. So there's your LED. You want all the light to go that way with, okay, some peripheral, but it's flashing straight back at you and ruining your ability to see. So straight off, if you're going to make a flashlight, why are you making a flashlight that I presume you'd hold like that? A percentage of the light's coming straight back in your face and being wasted. Now I notice, if I'll turn this off so it's not irritating people. Now I notice, you can see there, they've used a reflector, but it's only of limited use because this is still open. Now I understand that they may have thought, well, we'll leave this open so you can have this flashing and use it as a beacon, but watch. Oh, it doesn't even stand up. So you're not going to use it like that anyway. The only feasible reason I can think for having this open is because of this lanyard hole. You could maybe hang it in a tent, but then even then it's going to be in your face. And so again, Celestron, recess the buttons please, and get this. Even if you just made a deep dish, there's got to be a better way than that. I mean, I'm not going to go over reflectors because I do that enough in my other videos, but I think that needs a redesign. And there's a big space there, so you could half an inch too high there. I'm not sure what that's all about, but okay, it's not meant to be just a flashlight, so I can't mark it just on that. But on basic flashlight features, it seems to be lacking. So you've got your red, then you've got 2 LED white, then you've got red flashing, which you could use as a beacon mode, fair enough. White you could also use as a beacon mode, fair enough. It saves battery, gives you extended time, and it attracts attention. And then you have a double mode, which is flashing red and flashing white at the same time. And if you notice the pattern, it seems to be flashing out SOS. So you have a pause and then flash, 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 and then, yeah, flash, flash, flash. Yeah, it is. It's SOS. Okay, so you could use that as an SOS beacon. And that's pretty intense. You can see that hitting the camera there. That's pretty intense. That's probably going to travel quite a way, but I will go out and test that, so we'll turn that off. So the other features are a brief tap on here. Now I don't know what P, C and T stands for because there doesn't seem to be anything in the manual on the website, but we'll go with that. Okay, so P, I'm going to make it up. P stands for power. Okay, so if you press on it, you can, that initial blue flash there that went up shows you how much the battery is charged. So obviously if it went to 1, that would be a quarter of the battery, 2 would be 50%, 3 75, and up to 4 means, yeah, over 75 towards 100% of the battery there, which is absolutely fine. And then you have 2 other modes. So remember, there's a metal plate there and a metal plate there. So mode 1, there's mode 1. T for, I don't know, thermal. That heats up this one now. I feel that heating up already. So that's starting to heat up. And then the second mode with the green light off and red only on by itself. Again, nonsensical to me, but okay. Heats up both pads. So That one's hot now, hot to the touch, very nice. And that one's pretty hot. So to remember, there's two modes. So you can have just the front one heating up, which gives you 12 hours, which is pretty good, especially if you've got a decent pocket with a fleece line. It'll keep the heat in. And then the second mode means you're using both of these pads, but you only get 6 hours. But 6 hours is enough, especially if you're going hunting or something like that. But that's pretty good. Yeah, that's plenty hot, but I will go out and check them, so turn them off. So like I say, recess the buttons, get rid of this gap. Why can't you even stand it up if you're going to use it as a beacon? What's going on with this reflector? And what does this C and the T stand for? Maybe it's have F for front and B for both. You know, that would just be my idea, but there you go. But it seems to charge, and 5200 is pretty good for that size. So just as an example, there's for size, because obviously I've got quite large hands, so there's a little triple here. So it's pretty big, but it's not too big to go in your pocket, and it's a nice ergonomic shape. I like the shape. And it's 5200 milliamp hours. So just as a guide, there's a whopper Nightcore 26650 there. That's a whopper of a battery. I mean, even in my hand, that's a huge battery. So even that's only got 4,200. So it's even more than that. So it's even bigger than the biggest lithium ion there. So plenty juice, especially for charging basic stuff. I mean, if you're charging small MP3 players or action cams, you know, like a GoPro, they don't use a lot of juice. The batteries are particularly small. Phones, it's a bit more, especially if you've got something like the large iPhones or the large Samsung Notes and things like that, or the Plus models. They have a larger battery, so they're going to take a lot more. You're probably not going to get 2 charges, you'll get 1 and a bit. But that's still handy to have around, and it warms your hands, and it's a flashlight. So it seems to do the power pack task well, and that heats up brilliantly, but the flashlight's a little bit lackluster. So enough of me waffling on, let's get out and test it. Right, here I am at the beach, so I'm going to test this torch out. It's pretty much pitch black. I mean, you can see the moon in the background there, and the sea is that direction, sort of, but there's not a lot going on. So I'm going to go for a walk, see how well it handles walking about, because that's what a flashlight should be for. And then I'm going to sit. It's about 3 degrees Celsius, so I'm going to sit in the cold. So lucky me, yeah, I'm going to sit in the cold. So we'll see how it goes, and then I'll get back in the warmth. So wish me luck. Right, I'm back. Okay, let's mark this thing. My body's quite cold, but in regards to the hand warmer function, I tried it walking about. It doesn't really produce enough heat for that, especially when the wind chill was in. It's probably around 0 degrees centigrade. It was 5 degrees centigrade, but the wind chill is pretty poor. So that takes away a lot. In a pocket works great, especially when you put in the double setting. I can't imagine the single setting having much of a use, but the double setting when it uses both plates, great, plenty hot. Got my hands working again, it speeded them up because they slow down at the colder they get. So for warming up peripheral limbs, yeah, it works. The power bank, yeah, that works. In regards to the flashlight, you couldn't carry this on a camping trip or anything and say, there's my flashlight and everything all in one. It's not gonna cut it. It doesn't go low enough for moonlight mode. The red mode's too bright. The spread's weird. The only real spread pattern is from the LED itself rather than reflector. So that needs changing. There's a lot I would change on this. So do you know what? It's trying to do 3 things at once. It does an excellent job at that. However, as a whole, and bear in mind I'm big on flashlights, I think the flashlight function could do much better. That's just and the buttons need recessing and the labeling needs changing. I don't understand what's going on there. So do you know what? I'm going to give this 6, room for improvement, 6 out of 10. So that's not terrible. It will power your stuff up. It will warm your hands for hours and hours. I want to take this fishing actually. But I've been out half an hour there. My nose is freezing cold, but my hands are fine. So that's a good sign. But there's a lot that needs changing. So that's a nice mark there, 6 out of 10. So that's not bad. You know, would I get one? Say $25? Yep, I'd get one. Decent deal, especially if you're going to be outdoors. It's a good backup to have. Good backup flashlight, good backup power pack, good hand warmer. There you go. Right, that's enough. I'm freezing cold. I'm going home. Bye-bye.